Welcome to We Day Hans Who Up the Great Minds. I'm Göran Terborn, Professor Emeritus of Sociology at the University of Cambridge. And today I'm going to talk about where and how inequalities are produced. And it's a wide range of places where they are produced, actually ranging from the mother's womb to the world system of political economy. Inequality begins before birth. It's affected by the pregnancy of the mother. The mother's poverty, malnutrition, or trauma, stress, affects the fetus and tends to have or can have lifelong consequences for the baby as it grows up. This is something which is very much affecting babies being born in very poor countries like India and Africa, and it quite negative effects on many children. And it also affects that low-weight babies are more vulnerable to various illnesses later in life. So inequality begins before birth. And we also now are beginning to know what kind of processes are involved. They are called epigenetic processes, which mean that the genetic setup which the fetus has is affected by the social circumstances of the pregnancy. That means that the different genes, the differences between the genes is becoming an inequality because of these epigenetic processes, which are now just being discovered and uncommon. Well, after birth is also a very important period in the determination of inequalities. The very early childhood development has long-term effects. After birth, child development is hierarchically structured by social inequalities from the very beginning. I remember I was told by a child physician at a dinner at the British Academy that she and her colleagues could recognize the class belonging of a child by the age of 22 months. And there are lots of studies showing that the cognitive development and social development of children are very heavily decided by the age of 3 to 5. And that means that unless something is done to this, children from privileged social milieux are very much advantaged from the moment of their birth. There's also a contemporary cultural development which adds to this hierarchy of childhoods and the early foundation of inequality, which is a much increased middle-class parental involvement and investment in their children, which gives them a head start compared to children from other classes. Your kind of childhood then prepares you for a different life course. But of course, your health and the length of your life is also strongly affected by the way you live as an adult. It is very much affected by the kind of work you have, where demanding, physically demanding work and highly stressful work wears you down and many cases forces you to early retirement. And there is also the effect of hierarchy in itself. We now know that bosses tend to live longer than their employees. So the people on the lowest ranks, the janitors and the assistants at the office, they had shortest life. Exactly the mechanism behind that is not quite clear yet, but it tells you the many ways in which inequalities and social injustices are produced, like hierarchy.